Hello, YouTube.
Hey.
We're just saying hi before we start the show because this is our first episode of Living with the Landspeeder. So we don't really know how many people will be listening or watching on YouTube, but we just wanted to say hi to those that are here or maybe listening. And then we're going to start the first show. Can you believe it? Years of planning.
Yes.
And we'll probably stay afterwards, maybe do a little post show on YouTube to see how it goes. But are we ready? Are we really ready to do this? Or should we cancel it right now?
No.
First and last. It's Ricky Bobby.
If you ain't first. Anyways, you're last. So this is the first episode. All right, are we ready?
Yes.
Ready.
Do I just go right into it and you'll do the other stuff later?
We'll figure out the music later, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Just like always.
All right, here we go. And 3. Hello and welcome to Living with the Landspeeder, where we transform Disney parks into Star Wars, one attraction at a time. I'm your host, Ryan, joined by my co-hosts, Katrin and Derek Frank. How are you guys doing tonight? We're here for episode 1.
Oh, man.
Feels good.
Feels
really good.
I'm excited. You may, for some of our listeners, you may know Katrin and I from I Am Geek.
And even Derek, he's been on there too.
Derek's been on there too, where we've been doing that show for 6 years, and we're still doing that show. But we decided we wanted to do a little something different, where we basically break down one Disney attraction at a time and flip it on its head and turn it into Star Wars. And that's what we're going to be doing. And tonight we're going to be doing Living with the Land because, hey, the name of the show is Living with the Landspeeder. So what better attraction to start with? But before we get there, I thought it would be good to introduce ourselves to the audience, to the listeners, to the people watching on YouTube. And so everybody knows what they're getting into. So anyways, who wants to start?
You can start.
You want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we could sort of answer a question about how we fell in love with this thing called Star Wars. And maybe even Disney.
Yeah,
both, because we're sort of dealing with both here. But I grew up watching Star Wars. I had all the toys as a kid, and Star Wars sort of became my go-to with everything. I remember watching Return of the Jedi in the theater. I'm pretty sure, unless it was a fever dream or something. But because I was born in 78, so that is sort of my favorite Star Wars movie, because I remember experiencing it for the first time. And with that, I mean, I think I saw the other ones maybe on VHS or something.
Yeah.
Back then, way back then, it tells you my age. And then just fell in love. And the VHS was probably recorded off of TV or something. It probably wasn't even an official thing.
Of course. Yeah.
Knowing my household back then. But yeah, fell in love with Star Wars. Had the toys. I remember when I got a little older and Phantom Menace came out, that I did everything I could to be there for the first showing. Even though I was out of town on vacation with my family, I found a little rinky-dink theater that looked like it was one of the first movie theaters ever made, and sat there, took it all in, fell in love with it. I remember going to the stores, buying up all the new toys. Do you remember back then when a new Star Wars movie came out, they had the midnight opening at the Walmart, and it was just Star Wars everywhere. Now you get here's a couple of shelves.
They just show up. Yeah. And
they just show up. But it was a big deal back then. And I still have them all in boxes because I thought, you know what? They're going to be worth something someday. They're not. But
no,
they're not. Not like the original ones. But I do still have some of the original toys too. But they have been gently used since I played with all of them as a kid. But I still love Star Wars today. And I fell in love with the Disney parks at an early age. And now, because of Galaxy's Edge or Star Wars Land, I get to live out both of my dreams by going to Disney and experiencing Galaxy's Edge, which sort of reignited everything for me, like as far as collecting, which is good and bad because I fell in love with it so much and their lightsabers that I started making kyber crystals, which you can find on I'm Geek Shop on Etsy, that work in the Savi's lightsabers, and so Star Wars just was sort of become my big geeky thing that I love. But that's just a little. I'm sure over the course of this podcast, we'll get more into things we love about Star Wars. But Katrin,
Yeah.
why do you love this thing
Why
called
do you
Star Wars and the Disney parks?
Yeah, so my first memory of Star Wars is much like you, except it was Empire Strikes Back at the drive-in.
Oh,
I
cool.
don't think it had just come out necessarily. We're the same age, so I remember watching it at the drive-in, and I don't remember a ton about it, but I do remember it was Star Wars, and we grew up playing with wrapping paper rolls as our lightsabers, and then getting the cheap knockoffs of lightsabers. There was nothing like there is now, of course, with lightsabers that you can buy. So it was whatever we could get our hands on, and my family never was into it as much. My mom is into it; she loves it. But my dad, and my brother could care less. but I've always loved it. And then as far as Disney goes, I grew up going to Dollywood, being from East Tennessee, and Disney World seemed like a rich person's place that I'd never go to. And in 2002 or 3, I can't remember, maybe it's 2003, yeah, because right before I moved to Memphis, I went with you, Ryan, to Disney World for the first time, and then
changed your life.
It changed my life, and then in 2005, I got married and went on our honeymoon to not you and I, but my wife and I went on our honeymoon to Disney World, and she had gone as a kid, so she knew a little bit about it. But it's something we share as a family and look forward to it like every other years when we go. But I'm the Disney geek in our family, and everybody comes to me for questions and for answers rather, and I'm willing to talk about it. But it's rare that I go a day without incorporating into some sort of conversation. This is much like when you plan for a Disney trip. You've got to do this, and they're like, "Shut up," But yeah, I've become obsessed with it, and I think this is going to be a fun show to do because, again, like you said, it's incorporating two things we all love, and I'm excited.
Derek, tell us the story. A long time ago.
Well, I'm the Derek Frank. I'm a Pisces. I enjoy long walks on Naboo.
Your favorite color?
Everybody had that like cool uncle, and my cool uncle Phil was like the coolest uncle, and he would take me and my brother and our other cousins on the weekends because he was the cool guy. And what did we watch when we were at his house? Star Wars, and it was awesome. So then, when he had a son, I petitioned to have him named Skywalker.
Oh my!
And I feel like I won because they named him Skylar.
Oh,
so I feel like I had some influence on that.
You did, yeah.
But as the prequels came out, I saw them in high school, and then a little bit into college, and and it just kind of evolved from there. But my first trip to Disney World, actually, not my first trip with my family to Disney World, and getting to ride Star Tours. And then when you walk out, and they used to have the Darth Vader there and in the store, that was just so epic to me, and lasted so much that I have Darth Vader tattooed on my arm. I have a whole Star Wars sleeve. And my studio here in Nashville is all Star Wars themed. So
nice.
I'm definitely on the dark side. So that'll hopefully we'll see if that reflects in my ride choices.
Well, you do have cookies, so
we do.
Yeah,
and pie.
and pie. Well, cool. Well, there we go. That's us in a nutshell. When it comes to
this is me in a nutshell.
Yeah. But let's just jump right in. So tonight, so here's how it's going to go. Here's how it's going to work. We take a ride, an attraction, maybe a restaurant or something from the Disney parks. Each week, one thing. tonight's a little different because Living with the Land sort of has a restaurant sort of part to it. It's Katrin's fault. We take the attraction, Living with the Land is an example for tonight, and we Star Warsify it. We turn it into Star Wars. So by the end, whenever that is, many years from now, all of Disney World and maybe all the Disney parks around the world will all be Star Wars. It'll be our playground, and we get to do things. And we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you what rides you want turned into Star Wars rides and what you think of Living with the Land being Star Wars. Maybe give us your version in the comments or on social media where you can find us Living with the Landspeeder pretty much everywhere, right, Katrin?
Yes.
Yes.
At Living with the Landspeeder, wherever except for Twitter. It's got something weird, but we're not on there yet, really. So
Well, there we go.
It's
All right.
Twitter.
it's Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who wants to start? Do you want me to start? Do you one of you guys want to start? I don't mind.
I'll
starting.
start it.
All right.
I'll start it.
He's like, I got to get mine out of the way because then
Right.
everybody else will be like, oh, that's
Yeah,
what
I'm
we have now
nervous that
too.
like mine's gonna get taken. Or,
Yeah.
what do we
I
do in
know,
those
right?
instances?
Well,
we
here-
just like,
so-
yeah, that's what I said.
So this whole show idea came from an I Am Geek episode where we
Yeah.
did this. We added rides to Batuu, right, to Galaxy's Edge, and my idea was to make it a Landspeeder ride that's in Batuu. So I'm going to stick with that theme. All right.
Okay.
So Living with the Landspeeder is a ride that takes you through the history of Batuu. I know it's at
Oh.
EPCOT. We're putting this in EPCOT, right?
Yeah,
it's
it's where
still-
so yeah, that's something good for the audience. To
Yeah.
know. Wherever the ride is where it stays.
Yeah.
In the Disney parks or the attraction or whatever it is.
Yeah, and as much as I hate that Batuu and Galaxy's Edge is just like stuck in this time warp or whatever, and it doesn't expand, I'm gonna stick with it. It's fine.
Okay.
So it takes you to the history of Batuu. In the beginning, Batuu was full of these giant trees and all these different animals and lizards and monkeys and all these things, and the trees kind of ruled the land, and they had these fae in them, these little fairies that helped them kind of reproduce. They were kind of like bees, I guess, is what I've gathered from it. But they ended up as they expanded into the more harsher areas of Batuu, they had to form these other fae that were able to live in those areas. So the ride takes you through the history of Batuu, how they farmed, and when it was all this lush and everything. But then with these two different factions came this war, which caused this cataclysm. So you go through this kind of crescendo through the ride of, oh gosh, we got this war and all these things are happening. And then you journey into what we know as Batuu today, where it's kind of desolate and deserty. and we have the spires, right? The spires are actually the tree stumps of what's left over from the trees from this big war and cataclysm. So it takes you through, again, the different parts of Batuu, different stages of Batuu, and then shows you some different things. I'm kind of keeping to the same idea of the ride. So it's still a ride about farming. So how they farm in Batuu, how they keep their land fertile and how they do different things there. How a little bit about the Landspeeder that you're on, you learn a little bit along the way and how those came to be about as well. But it's really a ride up through Batuu.
Cool.
I like that. We have somebody in the comments already.
That's
Django
me.
Greta.
That's
That's
me.
you. Oh man, I was gonna say hello there. Way to go. You got me all excited. I was like, we have a fan.
It's me.
Great.
I'm your number one fan.
Oh my Lord. I think that's great. Like that's what I was gonna say. No.
It's a really good idea.
I think that's really cool because it's a different turn from what I was gonna do. Like,
Good.
I guess I'll go into
And it's
mine, and then
different.
we can kind of compare them. I guess. That'd be
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
fun. So
now I'm worried because Derek's probably gonna have the same thing as me, and then I'm just gonna be like, I've got nothing.
no, yeah, I think it's gonna be different because originally I thought, because I think somebody had mentioned this when we did the I Am Geek podcast of doing the lava river from Mandalorian, and I was like, no, that makes a lot of sense. Hence the T-shirts with having R2 on the back. But I thought keep it very much like living with the land because
Mhm.
that's why I like it, and I want to take it to Sorgan. Oh no, isn't what you're that's not what you're doing, is it?
Just keep going.
Okay, so I want to make it like Sorgan from Mandalorian, where they go and they're a
Okay.
farming area.
Yeah.
They have uh, what is it, krill and different things that they farm,
Yeah.
and you kind of just go through that planet and talking about the sustainability and the farming and how they do things, and that's where it leads to the restaurant too. And we'll talk about that after that. So my idea is going with also having it with the Mandalorian since it's so popular and
Yeah.
that
That makes
episode
sense.
was
About that too. Yeah.
yeah, that episode was huge and Disney loves jumping on the bandwagon for IP. So by all means, let's get on the Mandalorian train.
Cool. I like it. I like it. But no lava river.
No
So
lava river.
you don't have to worry about that.
No,
That's good.
just a regular river.
Yeah. Will you have the droid from the lava river on the boat, sort of guiding the boat, or the land speeder?
Yeah, I mean you could have Mando on there.
You could have
Or you
different droids.
Yeah, I guess so.
You,
There
you
we
could
go.
have a
Yeah.
lot of things. You could have a droid. You could have Mando. You could have one of the townspeople. You could do just about anything.
Okay. Are you ready for mine?
Yes.
I'm really excited because all three of them are different. All
Wow.
three of our things are different. Okay, so I'm actually a really big fan of Living with the Land, the actual ride. I really
too.
love it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's
like
one of my
for sure.
favorites.
so relaxing. It's just educational, fun, occasional. I don't know. So the ride that is gonna be a lot like Living with the Land. I think where we should start though is with the narrator. Who is going to be my narrator for Living with the Landspeeder?
Mace Windu.
No,
Billy Bob Thornton. I'm really bad at guessing games.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Of course.
Ooh.
Qui-Gon is going to be the narrator that you hear over the speakers. We won't. I guess we won't have now. Used to at Living with the Land, there was an
Morgan
actual.
Freeman.
There was an actual person that sat on the boat with you and did all the spill. But so maybe it's like a Force ghost of Qui-Gon, and he's there.
Nice.
You see
Yeah.
him. Okay, so he's the narrator. It's going to take you through the biodomes of Star Wars, a lot like they do on Living with the Land. We're going to
Yeah.
start, but see, I'm an original trilogy guy. Okay,
Okay.
so we're going to start with Tatooine.
Mm.
As we round the bend in our land speeder, we're going to see the sand dunes of Tatooine. We're going to see a little homestead there, with the moisture evaporators or whatever they're called all around. In the distance, we're going to see the two suns as Qui-Gon tells us about the harsh land of Tatooine and what it takes to survive on this desert planet. Okay, so just sort of like Living with the Land.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we go from there into the cold, frigid Hoth. So we were going to have in Hoth, we're going to see the Wampa Cave sort of off to the side, and we're going to see the animals of Hoth that somehow survive and live with this harsh environment. So we're going to have a Wampa, we're going to have a Tauntaun.
Mm-hmm.
Will somebody be sleeping in the Tauntaun? I don't know. Who knows? I've heard they're lukewarm, but anyway.
They smell bad.
Yep.
On the outside.
Yeah. So we're in Hoth. You got the snow. You can. This is where you add the wind effects and stuff. You could hear the stuff. You can maybe in the distance you see some kind of battle going on or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Way in the distance.
There's those screens, right? That you come around and there's screens on the sides. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
No.
Then
you can change the ride.
So Tatooine. So Tatooine, physical props everywhere. Hoth, you got physical props. So you got animatronic animals. You have everything. And then we go to Endor for our next around the bend with its vegetation and its forest environment. You see the Ewok village. You see Ewoks, animatronic Ewoks popping up from different places. You hear Yub Nub playing overhead in the background, the music, and it talks about living in the Force environment, what the Ewoks have to do to survive. Maybe it's eating some stormtroopers. You don't know. You don't know.
You don't
They
know.
have the armor. Where are the people? They try to roast people. There, anyways. Maybe you have the C-3PO on his throne. Who knows? Who knows? But you're an Endor, so you have the Ewoks popping up. Then, if you remember Living with the Land, the ride, after you pass all these cool things, you get to this one spot that's just like, why is there an empty stage here?
Yes.
Nothing. So in this area of the ride, we're going away from really physical props. You're going to enter this, and you're going to be in like in the how they filmed the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
All the 3D
In the
with the projectors.
Yeah, whatever it's. I forget what they call it.
Unreal Engine.
The Void, right? No,
is it? No, that's something else.
They're using Unreal Engine with all the projectors.
Yeah, so you come into this room and you're surrounded by water, and you find that you are on Camino. You have a storm, in the water that's coming in. You hear the rumbling of the thunder and the storm. The rain starts coming, and it starts to talk about cloning in the Star Wars universe, and how cloning was a thing and has become more of a thing here recently. And then as the storm starts to die down, you round the corner into the cloning greenhouses, where you see all of the foods and everything that cloning has helped to, feed the Star Wars universe, and how all these technologies are coming to be to help save planets and help people. So then you go through there, which is really cool, because you see all this stuff. You see, maybe there's just big tanks of blue milk. Who knows? There's all kinds of stuff. You go through there into the aquarium room, just like on Living with the Land. You got the aquarium room, where there will be large tanks on each side of you, where you will see different sea creatures of the Star Wars universe swim by and all this stuff. Then you go through there, and it ends with a motivational speech from Qui-Gon talking about, you guessed it, midichlorians and how they affect the universe.
You lost me. You had me. I was on the boat with you. I was
on the Landspeeder, not the boat.
The Landspeeder.
I thought that would be so hilarious.
So
no.
And he goes, and what binds us all in this great universe of ours in a galaxy far, far away? Each of us within us. We survive with the midichlorians.
Definition of Concrete's asking about where you can buy the shirts. Now, I know for a fact he's never seen any Star Wars movies. Not one. So thank you for being here and supporting us. But he would be really good to pick his brain once he finally watches them for the first time.
Yes. We will, at the end of the show, we'll have a link to where you can get the shirts. Anyways, so then we end. He says goodbye as the Force Ghost of Qui-Gon fades away, as he's talked to us about living with the Landspeeder.
Living with the Landspeeder. So, one of my ideas, I think yours great. I think one of my ideas,
it's wrong, but it's great.
Was just like yours, or similar to yours, and I wanted to do something a little different, because I knew it was probably what somebody else would do. But I thought at the end of it, it could be an Ewok village party, like at the end of Return of the Jedi, right?
I got interrupted. Yeah, while he's talking about midichlorians, there's big screens all around you, and it just like in the movie, it flashes to different planets where they're celebrating. So you got the Ewoks, you got Coruscant, you got everything going, while he's talking about how midichlorians binds us all together. So that's a big celebration at the end. Yeah.
Nice. Very good. I like it. So, and here's my other idea, because I was going between all these different ones, and I thought this one maybe was too obvious, and it's actually way different than what we all were thinking. I thought, what if it was a Han Solo ride? from the movie Solo.
Mm.
And you're riding in the Landspeeder, so different kind of Landspeeder, right? But you're riding in this chase scene, and
Yeah.
it's this crazy ride through a town. But then I was like, okay, well, is that not just test track later? So maybe we
Yeah, you gotta say
use
that.
that
You gotta
later.
say that. See, this one, I think the cool thing about
Yeah.
what we're doing is that when we take a ride, like we're living with the land,
Yeah.
we use elements from that ride
That's right.
and Star Warsify it. So I
Yeah.
think
Not
all of the
taking away
ones,
everything. But
yeah. So all the 3 examples we gave took the basis of living with the land, but we made it Star Wars.
for sure.
And I love all 3 of our ideas. I would love to hear in the comments or see in the comments or on social media which of those 3 did you like the best? I mean, like, not like one's better than the other, but like I would love to ride that
I
ride.
could really expand on mine too. Like you could have the battle if you wanted to have battles, but I wanted to keep it very much the same. Like
Yeah.
that's what I love. Like there's plenty of exciting rides at Disney, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
excitement. You know, if I want to be excited, I'll ride Figment. Or not. No, but like that's why I was like, all right, let's find like a farming planet, and you could even swap that out with like Endor or Kashyyyk or something.
No,
But
it's good. I liked I
yeah,
loved all of our ideas.
yeah,
I was just trying to get the
I liked
listeners
both of yours
to,
better than mine, and I thought I had a winner though.
well, I
I'm
am,
like,
I've been thinking about this for many years.
well, let's redeem
Yeah.
it by taking Garden Grill and theming that
Mhm.
because
Yes.
Patron and I were already thinking about this, and you weren't.
But I think I came up with a pretty cool idea.
All right, you're first. You wanna do
Okay, I'll
reverse
go
order?
first.
Okay.
Garden Grill. So if you're not familiar with Garden Grill, above Living with the Land is a
Yeah.
restaurant that slowly spins around, and it's a character meal, right? There's characters in it. I think
That's
like
right. Character dining.
Chippendale
Yep.
stuff.
It's Farmer Mickey, Chippendale,
Yeah.
and somebody else. But yeah,
Somebody else. So it slowly rotates. The
Goofy.
windows look out over the
There's not even windows. You're just like in this carousel
open.
almost, and you're looking over, and you can see the
Oh.
boats go by. So
Yeah,
it's
see the
Surprised
boats
no one's
over.
gotten hit with
Yeah.
like a pot roast or something.
That's
Like,
right.
Ah! Okay, so here's what I thought. I hit all the major places, except for really one, the more city atmosphere. Dexter's Diner is replacing Garden Grill for a character diner experience. So if you're not familiar with Dexter's Diner, Dexter, from episode 2, right? Yeah.
mhm.
Dexter will make an appearance.
Nice.
He will be there. The droid that's at Dex's Diner will be going around the circle, taking orders, making fun of everybody, calling out to Dex. I think it would be fun, So, and then basically the menu would be stuff from each of the areas that you experienced, and it'll be a lot of the stuff from the cloning greenhouse.
Midichlorians.
You're eating clones.
Yeah.
Like,
Mine.
oh, this does taste like Captain Rex. That's what I thought.
So Dex's Diner is my choice to replace Gardner Grill. Sort of have
So
a
is it
diner
still
atmosphere.
you said it's still spinning.
Well, I mean, no, it doesn't have to spin. I'm just saying the droid is going around to the different tables, so it doesn't have to spin. I don't think it.
Yeah,
but
Or the
but
droid stationary and you spin.
but the thing about it spinning, if we still have the back where you could see down into the ride, that would
Yeah.
be cool because you could
See
pass by
different parts of it,
Tatooine,
yeah.
you could
Yeah.
pass by Hoth, you could. So yeah,
Yeah.
sure, it still spins. Why not? It
Why not?
glides.
Why not?
It
Why
levitates.
not? All right, who's got their next Garden Grill adaptation or whatever?
Destruction.
Oh,
Are we doing reverse order? Am I in the middle again?
Yeah, you're going.
Okay.
Go for it, Derek.
So I'm gonna stick with Sorgan again because there was that incredible scene where Cara Dune and Mando are in the common house.
yeah.
And they've got bone broth and spatchka and things like that. And it was a really cool room and where you could have the characters, you could have
Yeah.
Grogu, you could have Mando. Probably wouldn't have Cara Dune, but you should.
Yes,
But
you will.
and then there's a lot of other different species there, and it could even be more of like a show where they have a fight, where they have those cool like what are
Ooh.
those things that are holding them when they're wrestling? Like those beams, or like it's like the belt,
Oh,
the
it's been so
electricity
long.
belt thing.
Yes.
That could be part of it, and it could be a little bit more adult themed as almost like a bar as well, because
Ah.
Oga's has done so well. What does everybody want at Epcot is more bars. I
Of
mean,
course, it's
I
Epcot.
mean, you guys might not, but I do. I do. I'm the childless millennial that wants more bars. And food there too. You know, you have to have some food.
So
Um,
would Grogu be in the corner just sitting there silently judging you with his little bone broth?
I think so. I think that'd
Yeah.
be great. Or or like every now and then, like he would just pop up on a table, like,
Yeah.
oh, cool. Hey, there you are, bud.
Like the middle of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you wash your hands. So,
I think I'll order these. Wait, and then you just see Grogu just sitting there judging you. No, don't order that.
Don't order that. No.
no, not at all.
Frog legs. Is frog legs on the menu?
Of
Oh,
course.
there you go. I think I have one of the pops that he has the frog legs sticking out of his mouth.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So I would just keep it straight with the theme of how I did the ride,
Cool.
and just kind of almost build its own little mini land right there.
Yeah. Love it.
Excellent. All right.
He's
We're gonna
keeps
tear
tearing
it down. We're tearing it down. I got kind of
Ooh.
sick feeling, so I don't like the turning business. And
right.
I'm probably going to regret what I'm doing because it takes away from another land.
Oh, Catron.
But what we're going to do is we're going to continue the Landspeeder theme, and it is the name of it is called the Outer Rim Drive-In. So much like the Sci-Fi Drive-In, you have Landspeeder.
What are you going to do when we get to the sci-fi?
I know.
Didn't we
I'm
talked
gonna
about
regret
that
it.
on I Am Geek. I
Yeah.
said just
I
make
said-
it George Lucas.
I said we're gonna.
Graffiti.
That's right. You did say that. Well, that's.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, that's so. This is what we're doing at Garden Grill. It's Outer Rim Drive-In. This is about land speeders, so this is perfect. It's so we've got the land speeders, kind of the same setup. We're gonna get rid and do something else with Sci-Fi Cafe, I guess. But on the screen, it's going to show Star Wars films, different maybe animations, same idea, different clips of movies, and you're sitting in a land speeder, all kinds of different land speeders. Some that'll fit 4 people instead of just 2. You have droids sitting with you, which is interactive, and you could even talk to the droid. Here's the really cool part: you can talk to the droid and tell it what you want, and they come and bring it to you. You don't have to wait for the server to get your order. Yeah.
Okay, so my question,
Yes.
not to critique.
Oh, I don't care.
I mean,
That sounds like a big. That sounds like a big place.
I
Are
don't
you going
care.
to knock down the theater that's beside Garden Grill to
Yes.
expand it?
Yeah. What do we need that for? Yeah. It's
Okay,
It's going to be
good.
2
I like it.
stories too.
I like it.
I like where your head's at with this. Like,
knock down
Yeah.
the theater. We don't need
It's-
that
yeah.
theater.
No.
Taking up space, good real estate. Knock it down.
It's a
That way
theater,
you can,
right?
You
So-
can get more
Right.
land speeders in there.
Yeah.
Bigger
many
screen.
people have even watched that show?
Yeah.
Nobody watches that show.
No.
It's not even open
No.
most of the time. I don't think.
No.
Yeah.
This is
And
this is
and
what
the
we're doing.
mechanism that makes Garden Grill spin is massive. So like it's 2 floors. You could I like where your head's at with this.
Yeah. So there we go.
Will the land speeders be look like they're floating off of the ground?
Of course.
And
Yeah,
maybe
they-
when you
they won't
step
be
into
floating.
them,
They
it's sort
actually
of
will float. They actually
They
will
could-
float.
We got to save a little bit of money. They will not float per se. But if you hop
Not
in
with that
it,
attitude, they won't.
It goes down a little bit. It's like sort
it
of
goes
like
down a little bit. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got spring loaded or whatever.
suspension
you have,
on
shocks or
it.
whatever. So suspension. Thank you. Yeah. So
And like if you wanted, like if you're a single person, you could sit on one of the mopeds from
yeah,
Book of Pet,
with all the mirrors on it,
and then feel
Little skater gang.
if you're by yourself, and it's slow. I don't care what
Alright,
anybody
cool.
says. I definitely want one of those mopeds.
Well, they're cool. They're from original concept art, so of course they're in there.
of course. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna try something now. We've
Uh-oh.
we've
I'm
all said
scared.
our piece. We're gonna try to score these rides. Okay, we're gonna try this out. We may not do this on every episode. We may do it tonight, and that's it.
Oh,
I don't know.
one
We'll
and
see.
done.
We'll see how it goes for scoring. Okay, scoring. We're gonna go through the rides and we're gonna score them on some things that I have here written down here on this piece of paper.
Okay.
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 Now, most of the
I don't
time we will
already
score.
feel bad about myself, but let's go
We
ahead.
Me
will.
too.
We will score names, but I think all of the
Like high
name
school all
is the
over again.
same.
That's right.
For all of the names would probably be living with the Landspeeder, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Right. Did we each have a name for our restaurant?
Mine was the Outer Rim Drive-In. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so mine's Texas Diner.
Mine's the Sorgan Common House.
Okay, let's score the names. We're gonna do names 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the least. And we could score the names, any names that you came up with.
I'm gonna
could
write
be
this down.
The
My handy dandy notebook.
could be the cloning greenhouse, whatever.
All right. Blue's
Okay.
Clues.
All right, let's start with Catron's name for his restaurant. What was it again?
The Outer Rim Drive-In.
The Outer Rim Drive-In.
Because the Batuu is part of the Outer Rim.
Okay, yes.
So
That makes sense.
makes sense because my ride is about a Batuu.
Would it be a drive-in or would it be a
It's a
fly-in?
drive-in. You drive a land speeder in. You
Yeah,
know, we had
that's
this conversation earlier. You're driving it, right?
All right, what do you got? 1 to 5. Give me a score, Derek.
1 being bad, 5 being good.
Yes,
Bad,
whatever you.
Man, that's terrible.
I'm giving him a solid 4. Like I really like that
solid
idea.
4.
Great.
I think I love drive-ins, and I think the idea of knocking out that theater and expanding that, and even being able to, have screens, or if you did want to look into the ride and interact with that, like I think it's pretty cool. Nice work. Nice
You can
work.
talk to the droids.
You can talk to the droids.
I like it.
They don't talk back, but you can talk to them.
That's right.
It's like all the droids that are running around in Batuu that we were promised.
Outer Rim Drive-In. I like it too. I'm gonna be nice too. I'm gonna give you a 4. Now part of me wishes it was maybe at the Sci-Fi Drive-In Theater, but
I know.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
I think that's the problem.
I like it. Solid 4. Okay. And then you get a 5 automatically for living with the Landspeeder, though, right?
For the name of the ride. Okay, good.
Yeah, we all get 5s for that, because if we don't give that a 5, then why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's go to Derek. Your
Oh.
restaurant.
Mhm.
Remind us again.
It's the Sorgan Common House,
Okay, Catron.
because that's what it's called in Mandalorian.
Catron, 1 to 5.
I really like this idea because I love Mandalorian, and I love that you went with the theme of Mandalorian, and there are so many possibilities with this restaurant to make it very unique inside and very well themed, right? So I think about Pandora and how well they've done with it, and making it look like it's part of this planet that's not well developed, and that's what I kind of think of, if this third world country or something, or world, a small world. And I think it'd be awesome. So I'm giving it a 5. I think it's a stellar idea.
Now, this is for the
it's-
name. We got other categories for other parts.
I
of
don't
these.
care.
Just
Yeah,
the
it's.
name.
I think it's great. I think it's a cool name. It's very unique, and yeah, if we're just going on name, I like the name. Yeah, it's good.
Okay,
It's good.
just the
Thank
name. Sorghum. No, I'm gonna miss
Sorghum.
That's why I keep messing up. Like sorghum.
That's what people are gonna call
Okay.
it.
That's okay. So I'm gonna
Sorghum.
just for that, I'm gonna drop it down 3.5, 3.5, because I think people are gonna go. Do they just serve sorghum here, or
Yes, they do. That's it. That's all they
That's it.
serve.
everything's made with sorghum?
That's
You
it.
have sorghum lamb chops. You got
Yeah,
sorghum.
Ian said that in the chat.
That's
Definitely,
right.
just like sorghum.
That's it.
Oh, that's it.
Uh,
3.5.
But we'll get to
All
the
right.
rest of it. But just the name alone, 3.5.
okay. All right.
Just all right. Now me, just let me have it. I know I'm going to get ones for Dex's Diner.
Man, I love you, buddy, but I feel like you just took the easiest cop out of Star Wars restaurants. Like,
Hey.
there's a million places at Disney. Like 50s prime time would have been
That's true.
perfect.
See,
Like,
see.
We'll see.
and
Well, I
I know we
forgot.
caught you off guard.
You caught
I
me
know
off
we
guard, and I
did.
forgot. So I was like,
But like,
"What's the fun eating places?"
I'm gonna give you a 2 because it's a great restaurant, but I feel like you phoned it in.
Oh.
I had like 5 minutes to get the
I
restaurant
know.
up there. I spent a lot of time on the actual ride. Which we'll
did.
get
You
to.
did, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah. So this is the name. The name. I get it.
The name. Yeah.
I got a 2, right? Okay, that's fine.
I'm sorry.
Dex's Diner. Catron, let me have it. I'm sure it's going to be
Yeah.
a 1.
No, I don't think anybody deserves a 1. That's just rude. Maybe a 1.5. I don't know. Just kidding. I'm gonna go with Derek's score as well, and just say ditto. So
Ryan's done. He's like, I hate this.
We're going to hit you all with Camino darts here. Sending the Camino darts to take you out. Anyways, okay, let's go
you'll
on
have
to the
opportunities to redeem yourself.
Let's go on to the next category. Rewritability. Is this ride?
Rewrite.
Will this ride prompt you to rewrite it, to ride it over and over again, like Living with the Land? I've been on it a million times, but I keep going on it. So let's start with Derek. We're going to start in the middle.
Mm.
Rewritability, Katrin.
Yeah.
1 to 5. Is this something that you think, hey, every time I go to this magical galaxy far, far away in Epcot, I've got
all
to
these are
ride
good.
sorghum.
I've got to go to Living with the Land. I've got to go to this version of
Man,
Living
this
with
is
the
so hard because
Landspeeder.
when you put it like that, it's like whatever version we end up with, if it's Star Wars related, it's gonna be a 5, right? More than likely, it's so this is difficult.
Also depends on if you like Living with the Land.
It does, but it's
And if you like
if
this
you like Star Wars
part of Mandalorian, because
and
this is very
Mandalorian,
specific.
yeah,
This is like
sure,
maybe
that's true,
somebody
and
won't
I
like
do like
Mandalorian.
it. I'm gonna stick with a similar score to the name of his
2.5.
restaurant.
No.
2.2.
I like it. I think it's got a lot of potential. I'm going to go with 5. I think it's very rewritable, and
Yeah.
I also don't. Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to ride it.
And the check is in the mail.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, buddy.
So 5. Okay.
Here we
I
go.
should have
Here's
been
a
writing
1.
this down.
I'm
By the
writing
way,
it down. I got it.
I'm way too nice.
You got it down. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to dock you some points.
Okay.
Because I said, is every speeder gonna have the droid from the lava thing? And you said no. So
It's a different planet.
I may wait in
Different planet.
I know, but still.
Still need the droid.
I need the droid. Because if it's not every boat or every land speeder that you get on, that you have the droid. Because you said maybe there might be another character there. If I wait in a long line, I get up there and I don't get my droid. I don't know if I'm going to ride it again.
Understandable. I'm with you. I get it.
But I would probably still ride it because I love the idea. So I'm going to give it a 4.
All right, I'll take it, and I'll take that. Solid points there.
If you had the River Styx droid pushing you along, like 5 every time.
Totally.
All right, let me have it. Rewritability for my version of Living with the Landspeeder.
I'll go first since I tore you up the last time.
Excellent.
I really loved how far you went with thinking about this. Like, I know you've been thinking about this since we did that first episode.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I'm like, I was, like I said, until the very end.
That was a little joke at the end.
I know.
A little joke.
I was like on the Landspeeder. I'm like picturing this. I was like, dang, my idea sucks compared to that. Like, I'm giving you a straight up 5.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And not just because I gave you a 2 on your
I spent all
that.
my time. I focused all my time on the ride, and the restaurant was like, "Oh well, it's probably going to be hard to get into anyway." So, throwing decks.
So
Don't give
this
me a 5.
ride gives you all the memories and feels of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, it goes to the
Yeah.
history of Star Wars, and what most people wanted when they
Yeah.
announced that there was going to be a Star Wars land is that, oh my gosh, I'm going to be able to relive all these great things from the Star Wars I grew up with, right? And that's
Yeah.
the majority of people that end up going to Batuu, to Galaxy's Edge, are these older people, I guess, or people that grew up with it, right? Grew up with the older Star Wars, and that's what this ride does, right? It gives you all of the history and all the feels of what you love, what we all love about Star Wars, and then until our kids get older, uh, this is what most people that are going are wanting to see. So I'm giving this ride a 5 because, again, it's exactly what the it does go along with living at the land. It's the same ride which we all love, and we want to ride it again and again because we like seeing the different things that we can see, the farming and all that, So it's seeing all those things, and again, it's reliving the Star Wars. So I think it's very re-rideable, and I give it a 5.
So you get the first official like seal of approval.
Sweet.
I get
the
of approval. We'll have to figure that out.
Yes.
Put it on the screen.
The Landspeeder. Oh, the Landspeeder. What's the metal?
The Landspeeder.
That what's the metal? The metal of what's the metal that Princess Leia gives out to everybody but Chewie?
Oh my! oh, you had to bring that up.
Oh,
Pretty good though. Touche.
What's the metal called? It's called something.
sure, we'll find that out.
Metal.
Yeah.
Metal.
That metal.
Metal on
We'll have one
Star
that pops up on the screen right here. And go. Insert metal.
The one Chewie didn't get.
Yeah. So 5s across the board. There we
Nice
go.
work.
Yeah.
There we go. So we got Catrins left?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Non-chewy metal. Oh, that's hurtful.
And don't worry, there'll be plenty of sorghum growing in the cloning greenhouse.
Excellent. Yes. Please.
All right, Catrin. I really loved it because here's what I love about it. Because when you go to Batuu, because it's not in the movies or in the TV shows, you're
Yes.
sort of thrown into it and you don't know about it unless you can get
right.
somebody to tell you about it, or you read a book or something. But
Read it, yeah.
who doesn't?
Wikipedia or something.
Yeah. So I like it that it gives the history. My only complaint would be that it's not at Batuu. That would be the only complaint.
Yeah, I know. I thought
That'd be the only thing. But
no, I get it.
I like it because you ride the ride, you get the history, and then when you go to Batuu, it's like, oh, this is where that's from, and this is why this is like this, and I know this, I know it all. So I feel like I'm part of it. So I really love that. So I'll give it a 5 for the history of Batuu. I'll give you a 5.
We're all looking for that history.
The seal. I was so close. If it wasn't for Ryan getting revenge.
I know.
Okay. Well, here it is. I know you want that seal really bad.
Don't give it to him. Don't give him the medal.
So there's a book about Batuu.
Yes.
Galaxy's Edge, Black Spire
Yes.
Outpost.
I have
And it
I
is
haven't read it, but
it is probably probably my top 3 favorite Star Wars books.
excellent.
And I read it before I went to the parks.
Oh, there you go.
Pride.
And so as you're describing the ride, I'm just like picturing the book and all of the things they're talking about. And I was like, man, reliving that, and it just makes Galaxy's Edge that much better. Like Ryan said, it's what most people don't understand. So 5 all the way.
Wow.
I was trying to make you think I wasn't going to give it to you, but I
I thought you were going to tell me how wrong I was.
He's like, no,
this is
wrong.
wrong. You're so wrong. No, because that's the
Where's
whole thing. Like, that's really what they talk about in that book quite a bit. And I think it's just such a great idea. And Yeah, it just ties in what they missed in explaining the story at the park at Galaxy's Edge.
Excellent. Well, thank you.
All right. Last category for
Oh.
this evening. Now, these categories will change every week. This is just the first thing.
It's just like whose line is it anyway? Where you
Yeah.
make up the points.
Yes.
They don't mean anything.
Is it better than the original?
Oh.
So is our ride ultimately better than Living with the Land?
Is this just a Y or an N? Or is this a point scale?
Oh, I didn't
Yes
think
or
about
no?
that.
Is it better? 4.
I didn't think about that. Well, this category will never appear again.
It's either a 3.
It's either a 5 or a 1. That's your options. You're either getting 5 points, it's better, or 1 point, it's not better. No in between. I don't know. Yes or no? Yes is 5. No is 1. And then 3 is maybe. Do we think our rides are better? Let's just go with that. Do we think our rides are better
Yes.
than the ride that's there
I
now?
think so. I think with the whole idea of this podcast, the idea of this show that we're doing, not just this episode, but the whole podcast, is that
Yeah.
we are Star Warsifying rides at Disney World. It's a place we love, the rides we love. We'd never
Yeah.
trade these in, most of these.
There's quite a few I'd trade in.
There's some I would trade.
But like we're gonna redo Big Thunder Mountain, and that's one of our favorite rides.
No,
Right?
it's gonna be hard.
I'm not
So-
redoing it. Just adding. I'm
We're
just
gonna
adding.
skip it. But the whole idea, the whole idea is that we're making it Star Warsified, and we
Yeah.
love Star Wars, we love Disney, and I think all of our ideas were great. And yes, it's better than the original ride. I as much as I love it, I think making it into a Star Wars thing and
Yeah.
whatever the idea is, maybe it's a mixture of all three of ours. Who knows? Maybe it's all the
It's a
different Star
long
Wars
ride.
stories, and it's this long ride, right? And with screens, they could do that. You could just keep going around and around, right? So yeah,
Cool. We all get 5s. Woo!
Well,
Yes. Finally,
Perfect
I got a
score.
the Medal of Yavin.
Yes.
Nice work.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Sure. All right. Well, cool. Well, there we go. That's our first
you
ride
go.
down. 1 attraction down.
What are we gonna
Actually,
do next
2
week,
2
Johnny?
attractions down. We got the Garden Grill and Living with the Land. Mark it off your list at home that I know everybody has.
Keeping score.
Keep it score at home. Let us know in the chat and in the comments and on social media, what you would do with Living with the Land. Let us know. Let us know what you think about ours. Give us 5s, give us 1s. We can take it. We're grown
we?
men, sort of. I don't know.
No.
I don't
Anyways,
think I can.
but next time on Living with the Landspeeder, which will be in 2 weeks, right? We're doing it every other week to start with
Yes.
to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Katron, I think Katron should be the one to announce
We thought
the next.
it would be
episode.
a great idea to in celebration of the new ride at the Magic Kingdom to remake Tron into a Star Wars ride. I mean, it's so close, right? It's already Star Wars or space and futuristic. Of course, Star Wars is a long time ago, so it's a little bit different. But
It's not space, really. It's inside a computer.
that's true.
But it is sci-fi.
It's sci-fi.
Sci-fi.
Not
We'll
space.
discuss this in depth
Yes.
on the next episode
So-
for sure.
It's already
we're-
sci-fi, so we're gonna Star Warsify it.
That's cool. So this episode we took an older ride, and the next episode we're taking the newest ride.
It'll
in the
just be
parks.
officially opened.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect timing.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for next time
Stay
for
tuned.
Living with the.
Oh, we're back.
We're back. I don't
What
know what
happened?
happened. I don't know.
It bumped us, but we are
That's
here.
weird.
It did.
We're here.
I
Okay,
promise
so
we're here.
thank you guys for joining us on the first episode of Living with the Landspeeder. Derek, Katrin, it's been a pleasure. I can't wait to Star Warsify the next Disney attraction next time on Living with the Landspeeder. That's where it cuts.
That's where it cuts.
My puppy has to go make a potty break. So
Steven,
like,
awesome.
Pay no attention to the lady behind the curtain.
So
Steven's in the chat now. He just got here, I think, from
Yeah.
Princess of Scoundrel, and he says the ride hasn't even opened, and we're already changing it.
we're changing it.
I mean, to be fair, it should have opened 3 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, and hopefully we're changing all the rides and all the attractions. So might as well do the newest one next.
Looking forward to changing Winnie the Pooh. You have no idea how much I'm looking forward to getting rid of that ride.
Winnie the Pooh,
man.
Star Warsify.
Wait till we start getting into shows.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
So here's the thought I just had. You know, we said maybe we can't do a restaurant every time, but what if we did something else? Like with Tron, they've got some drinks and things like that. Like, what if we did a snack that was? I don't know. That could run out pretty quickly too. I don't know. That was just
Tron has the little quick service booth beside it called. Steven knows because he was just there.
Yeah. A nap.
I forget what it's. Steven, in the comments, if you can tell us, it's something bites, right? Because they're playing off of the computer bites.
Computer bites, yeah.
Something bites.
Well, I know they've got the Power Lime taffy.
Oh yeah,
and
they're coming out with those candy.
If they don't make a Power Line movie or something,
I still think this is not Star Wars if anything, but we're in the post show, so
yeah.
Energy bites.
Do whatever we want.
Energy bites. I still think Rock and Roller Coaster should be Power Line.
It's not Star Wars. Yeah.
I know. I'm just saying, post show, Star Wars if I end over with. Like he just mentioned Power Line. I'm like, come on, Rock and Roller Coaster. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, so let us know in the comments or wherever. Probably in the comments since we're on YouTube. What you thought of the first episode? Is it a 1? Is it a 5? Should we change everything? If you haven't listened to it, I'll go back and listen to it. We had some really great ideas for Living with the Landspeeder, the ride, presented by I'm Geek.
I love it.
All right. Anybody else have anything before we sign off for this evening?
I don't think so. Thanks everybody for. Oh, do we have something?
But truly, from Energy Bites, beef and broccoli dumpling and watermelon refreshers are so good. Yeah, that watermelon refresher does look good. I want to try it when I'm there.
Totally.
And I can't wait to ride.
We did have one comment that I'm not sure how to answer. It says, I want to know where and how you would build a nap land. And I'm curious if that's just a place to nap.
No, well, if it's Star Wars related, we would just have carbonite freezing chambers that you could go into.
There you go. It's very cold because it's hot in Orlando.
Well, carbonite freezing
that could work.
Nap land. Why is Dad not moving? He's frozen in carbonite. All right, cool. All right. Well, I'm excited. Next week we'll be doing I'm Geek, and then we're going to switch every other week to see how it goes. If something blows up, maybe we'll do this more than one week. One every other week. I can talk. Yeah. So
here's the thought I had, and people can say whether or not, or we can say whatever. Is we're jumping from place to place, so maybe it's too late now because we said we're going to. But what if we had seasons that were a park, like or a series rather that was like, here we go through all of Epcot and get that out of the way, and then we go through all of King.
Oh, for Living with the Landspeeder.
Yeah.
But, good. But why did you suggest Tron then, Katrin?
I didn't. That was Derek's.
Oh, that was Derek. Sorry.
So it's my fault.
Well, I think next time would be a great time to do Tron since it's just opening.
Oh,
we can immediately tear it apart. Even though
none of us, Derek, I've been making it awkward since 1985.
But cool. Yeah, everybody, tell your friends, tell your
Yes.
family. We want
Tell
to
your
see
dog.
how we can make this thing go big and fun. I was a guest last night on Heroes of the Halcyon. It's a podcast about the Star Cruiser, so check that out when it comes out. And I talk about all kinds of fun stuff because I'm going on my first Star Cruiser trip here in a few weeks in May. Steven will be there. We're gonna have fun. Can't wait to experience. So Heroes of the Halcyon, check that out. They want to come on this show sometime soon, so that'll be fun. We have some guests coming up that we're trying to get all nailed down. So it's going to be fun. We're going to have a good old time here on Living with the Landspeeder, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, right?
2.
Yeah, cool. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.